Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. Good. So, we probably should merge some of the pending changes we currently have. Let me see. Review approved. Yeah, we have a bunch open here. Okay, so how about we merge this guy here? Were there any more comments? No. Okay, I will just merge it. Update build chain, build tool chain to use public. Use 6. Oh, it's very warm today, so my head is quite a bit fuzzy. It's hard to concentrate. Maybe we just remove this here. We just use CI. Maybe say use. No, it's fine. Okay. 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 This one, I'm not sure if that's a good idea to merge when there are still reports of crashes. Reduce costs of replay player. How about we describe it without this number here? Because it's really not much. Say, how about we say, how about we say improve performance of replay, improve performance of replay playback a bit. Improve performance of replay playback a bit. Improve performance. We say marginally. Improve performance of replay playback by increasing the replay file read buffer. Marginally. Is that correctly written? Marginally. Marginally. Or say slightly. 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 We say improve performance of replay playback slightly. Improve performance of replay playback slightly by increasing the replay file read buffer. Okay. And we can clarify here was measured to be about 3% fat, 3% faster. In headless replay playback. 3% faster in headless replay playback. Was measured to be about 3% faster in headless replay playback. Playback. Okay. Okay, then we have allow camera zoom while game is paused. Okay. Okay. And we merge this as well. Okay, so let's revisit this guy here. Scale fonts based on the smallest screen dimension, so they scale independent of aspect ratio. Fix font scaling. Okay, how about we fetch that change. This one, fix font scaling. Okay, is that actually the last version of it? Yeah. Okay, let's build that. Let's go to debug. Let's disable world builder and tools. Okay, so that is now with a changed font scaling. So let's take a look at 800 by 600. So that's the original font size. It's pretty large. Yeah. Okay, let me change it to double. Looks like the same as always, probably because we didn't write out the file. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that font looks much smaller. Much smaller. If you compare that now with this one, yeah. My suspicion is that when players see this, they will say, oof, the texts are much smaller now, right? How do we deal with that? Maybe we give the user the option to also adjust the scaling factor in the options ini and not just in the wherever that is. Let me try to find it. It's in game page. It's in I have trouble seeing. Jesus. My eyes, I think they're dying. Good. Which file is it? I think it's in language. So English. Language ini, I think. Yeah. I would say, where is it here? Here, resolution font adjustment. Fonts increase at 70% the rate the resolution increases. Yeah. So, okay, so the first step would be to add this to options ini, this setting. Yeah. Okay, I took a look and font indeed looks smaller than players, smaller than one could be used to. Texts. How about we make another change and expose the resolution font adjustment setting also to options.ini. With a default value of -1, maybe resolution font adjustment overrides. Font adjustment. Resolution font adjustment. This would then override the value in or not override, maybe multiply. Multiply is probably better. How about we make another change and expose a resolution font adjustment setting to the options in with a default value of 1. This would then multiply with the resolution font adjustment value from language.ini. So by default, it would do to multiply with language.ini. And give the user the option to scale the defaults, to modify the default scaling. Maybe you give it a different name, user resolution. Suppose a user resolution font adjustments. Just so they have a different name. For the default scaling without touching language.ini. So in code it would be so in code it would then do times user resolution font size adjustment, wherever this is. How about we make a follow change. I mean, we could also just give it the same name, right? I don't know. Another resolution. Yeah, I think we need some way to adjust it so that users can like readjust it back to what they used originally. Yeah. Yeah. On that note, I think I do wonder if we have an options ini, and the options ini contains some setting that is specific to the new product, like I don't know. Let's just put some bogus in here. Bogus equals 1. Yeah. And we save that bogus. Now if we go here and we press on accept, we first need to load it, right? So now bogus is gone. So let's add it again. Bogus equals 1. We open options, we press accept. And now bogus is gone. Okay, let's restart the game. Let's add bogus. Yeah. Options accept. It will erase. Okay. So any value that is not known will be erased. I see. Scroll factor is 103. Why is it so much? Oh, probably because I set it to be that way. Yeah. Did I already send that comment or not? I think I did. Good. Then let's see what else we need to look at. Okay, there was no follow-up on this. What about this one? This one still needs a follow-up. What about this one? Okay, there was no follow-up on this one. What about this one? Okay, let's take a look. shdlib.h. He moved this file. Okay, fair enough. Is that how it's written? Let's see. 0 hour. Okay, that looks good to me. That one is also fine. Okay, looks good. Oof. Sorting. Seven. What is this D in it? Flush. 0 hour does not have this white space. Does not have this blank line. Okay, all enable, blah. Okay, fair enough. What is this here? Zero hour does not have these tabs. Okay. Oof. $5.50. That's probably all right. What about this here? Release refs. Fair enough. WW profile. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Next, DX8 wrapper. DX8 wrapper dot h dot h dot h. Okay. Flimby. What is that? Flimby. Okay. Let's see. assignment operator. This one, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, looks fair enough. How about we put this side by side and it's a bit easier to look at this thing. Well, it's a bit tight, isn't it? Oof. So hard to look at this shit. Fair enough. Okay. Vertex buffer. Okay, yeah, looks good. Okay, fair enough. Okay, that one doesn't exist. What about this here? Huh. It does. But at a different location. This is located at the wrong location. This is placed at the wrong location. Okay. Yeah, I think he really needs to use a merging tool to properly move these things to the right locations. Okay, fair enough. Lights hash. Z texture class. Is that at the correct location? For declaration surface class. It's before surface class. This is supposed to be before there. What is this here? Oh boy. DX8 wrapper. 0 hour does not have this white space here. Oh, this is quite an effort to review. Oh boy. What is this? The white space changes that are not supposed to be here. Okay, I will make a review here. Please make a pass on the white space differences. You can run the Python scripts in scripts. You can run the scripts CPP remove trailing white space .py scripts to help with that. Also, please double check that things have been that code has been merged to the right places. I commented a few that are not placed correctly. Yeah, so there's still some work to do here, and I think it doesn't make sense to continue reviewing when there's something fundamentally that needs to be done here. Yeah, all these white space thingies. I think this happened because he worked on this before we cleaned up those trailing white spaces, and then he did not apply those fixes to his changes. So he just needs to apply these on top, and then it should be all good. And then the diff will also be much smaller. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at this here again. I think the broadcast spam would be good. not sure if we understand well enough what our messages will look like after we break retake compatibility. So I propose we delay redesigning them until we have a better idea what they should look like. I think it's possible to avoid spamming message patch version by sending it whenever certain other messages are sent as well. This doesn't require newly designed messages. Okay, it didn't make any updates to this. Yes, you can also send the version message side by side with others. Products version message side by side with others, with other messages. Try to be considerate with the design and think about future use cases. And try to be try to anticipate future requirements for the messages to so that we do not need to touch it often. For communications. Okay. Good. Let me take a look at this guy here. Space index. Okay, so there's no more magic numbers, so that is good. That just by eyeballing it already looks much better. Let me see his text. I made a small adjustment to the code to make it a bit more flexible. Airfields with equal counts of spaces and runways are excluded. Airfields with equal counts of spaces and runways are excluded. Index checks are not tied to the runway count so that it can now handle this 3 runway 6 space airfield. If there are airfields that we say 2 runways and more than 4 spaces, more than double the runway count, the fix in this change will not work 100%. I'm not sure how to fix that yet, or if such airfields even exist. Yeah, so apparently there is an airfield with with 5 spaces. No, is there an airfield in here? A plane in here? Oh, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. Looks to be 6 indeed. Okay, 6 aircraft on this. I made a small adjustment to the code to make it a bit more flexible. Equal counts of spaces and runways are excluded. Index checks are not tied to the runway count so that it can now handle the 3 runway 6 space airfields. 3 runway 6 space airfields. So spaces must be larger than runways. And space index larger equal runway size. Object in space equals ID. Space is object in space. Object in space. Oof. Object in space equals ID. Okay, so this is just selecting the plane, yeah, for landing. Okay, for landing. Is there perhaps a better name for this function? It reads confusing to me. Can also have a description above that explains the intent. Because it's not really easy to understand. Deferred runway reservation for takeoff. So that's a new field, bool. By default, this thing is false. Okay. So, M space is space index for landing. Deferred false. For landing. If not deferred. Deferred true. Return true. What did this originally do? Originally it just selected the first runway. So what happens if this fails? Will it then try another one? Maybe it does, yeah. Let me see how this is called. Reserve runway. This is parking place behavior. Flight deck behavior. No? Okay, so there's no... Huh. Does it modify the index? No. Okay, right now I have no clue what this does here. Like, what is supposed to happen if this returns false? It cannot land then, or what? Like, how does that make sense? So the plane wants to land. It wants to reserve a runway, and then this returns false. Now what? I don't understand. Okay, let me get that branch and test it. Order. Okay. Good. I'm surprised that there was no CMake reconfigure. Good. So reserve space. Yeah. Reserve runway. Ah. Okay, let's compile this in. Undefined. What? Why is this complaining? I have no idea why the IDE is complaining. It makes no sense. Okay, so skirmish. Let's take USA. Okay, so let's build. Build some raptors. Okay, and so okay, let me put some breakpoint in here. What? Okay, let's compile and debug. Yeah. Good. So that is compiled, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we start. Okay, and now we get here. Okay, so M spaces is 4, runways is 2. So if spaces is larger than runways and space index is larger than runway size. Yeah. Then space index, deferred runway reservation for takeoff. False. Yeah, okay. For landing, false. For landing. If not deferred, deferred. What does this tell now? It probably means that on the next run he can use it. That's the intent here. But it returns true now. Deferred. True, deferred. True. So if this... I see. So... Okay, so it's now... The reserve runway is now postponed. Maybe this should be called postpone. If postpone runway. How about postpone? If postpone. Postpone. I don't think it even needs this. Just postpone runway reservation. Reserve runway. Postpone. Also, don't need to mention for takeoff in the function because there's an argument for landing which implies, because there's an argument which either implies takeoff or contradicts or contradicts it. Can also add a description for this function to help understand what it does. Yeah, I would call it postpone runway reservation. Then it gives the index here for landing. And if that is true, then it will return false. Okay, let's see the next one. So now we have 0. 0 for landing false. And this one should now succeed. Oh, space. Yeah, so this one will return false. We don't have a postpone. Then we have 1. Return false, yeah. And then we have number 2. Number 2. And that one is 2 is larger or equal than this, yeah. For landing, deferred false. I wonder what happens. So here, what happens if this is set to true and what happens if this is set to true and the plane dies before it. Let's see how long it takes until it's called again. Aha, it's called immediately again. Huh. Okay. Okay, it keeps getting spammed. Oof. Okay, why? Defer, okay, and approach that. Ah, okay. I would set it to, okay. So what happens next? It goes here. But it's currently being used. It's currently being used. Okay, I think I understand, yeah. Makes sense. Let's put a breakpoint here. And here. Well, that didn't hit. Okay. Okay, I don't know why. Next in line for takeoff. Okay. So if we take a I think we need some tau missiles. And that looked painful. Okay. Yeah, it looks flexible enough. No hard-coded numbers, so I think that's okay. So when it's landing, then it will set defer to false. Yeah. Okay, what's the time? 1:30. Jesus Christ. Monkey Street. Good. Spaces, runways. Yeah. So I wonder. I mean, it seems to work just fine. I do wonder, why is this here necessary? Is it necessary to set it to false? Yeah, so spaces. I think the condition is good. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably fine. I think there's a bug here. Maybe. This is really the perfect moment to set this to false. What happens if the plane takes off and then is commanded or is asked to land on another airfield? Maybe we can test this real quick, right? So we take this guy, yeah. So we take off. Then we land here. And now we build new planes. And now we start these. What happens? They start. Okay. My suspicion is that it's not necessary to set this to false. It's probably enough to say if not for landing and not deferred. I think it can be written like this. Let's test that. You know, maybe it's even possible oh, hold on. Yeah. Let me test that one more time. If this is still true, purge that. Let's put a breakpoint here. Okay, so we launch here and then we land here. Now we build again 4 planes and we launch them. Let's see if they can launch in the wrong order now, start in the wrong order. Yeah, they can. Let's see that again. So these 2 planes, they are supposed to launch first. Yeah. Okay. Let me reproduce. So let me kill those planes. Oof. Okay, so we take these guys and we land on here Then we build the new guys. And now basically these two parking spaces, they now have deferred set to true. So now these two planes started first. Let's kill these guys again. Let's kill this one here as well. Those zombies are quite destructive. Yeah, so now these two start first. But I expect it could also happen that like this one starts first and then this one, right? So let me add a comment here. This does not work correctly when planes take off and are asked to land on another airfield. Then runway 2 and 3 will have deferred set to true. We'll have deferred equals true. And this does not work correctly when planes take off and are asked to land on another airfield. Then runway 2 and 3 will have deferred true. And they will be able to take off, and new planes built will be able to take off immediately from runway 2 and 3. Yeah. Okay, but other than this, it seems to work. But yeah, there needs to be something done here. Something's not right with this logic. Maybe it can be implemented in a different way without this Boolean, so that it is more robust. Let's say maybe it can be implemented another way without bools, but with logic frames. To avoid edge cases. I don't know if you set a logic frame, so you say current frame, and then what? I don't know. Well, it would have the same problem. If you say, for example, you're allowed to take off at this frame +1, right? But then you have the same problem. Yeah. No, let him figure it out. There probably is some way. Yeah. There's I tested this and it works in principle, but there's one bug. Some documentation would be good. Yeah, other than this, I think the implementation is pretty straightforward. Bit of documentation for the good. Then I will take a break here. Yeah. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.